Hello, Facebook Live. Happy Thursday. Happy September.
It's September. Oh my Lord.
Do you know what happens in September, Tammy?
The primaries.
The primaries. Yes, the
But
primaries happen
that's
in September.
that's the next video.
It is the next video, but time is going to pass and people might be busy and, things happen. So if you don't already have it in your calendar, what would be the proper date to put in the calendar? Which one are you going to circle?
I think you should circle September 13th.
I believe that is the Tuesday to circle in your calendar for the primaries coming up in the state of Rhode Island this year. I am Emily Boucher, pronouns she, her.
I am Tammy Brown. My pronouns are she, her also.
And you know what I was thinking? I was like, it's almost like we do a podcast, but it's like not a podcast. I feel like we just did a little teaser and there would have been an ad right there, and then we would have
Yeah.
like come and done like, I don't know. It's all coming together.
Hey,
Every
if anybody wants to sponsor these put ads, we'll take it.
Yeah, if there's any like Triangle Space or like, millennial based toothbrush companies or whatever, right? Like it's great. It's great, right? That was
Yeah.
my joke about Squarespace, by the way. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say Squarespace again until they pay us to do it. It's Triangle Space from now on.
Triangles. Anyway, here we are.
So we are part of the Women Project Education Fund. This is a educational nonprofit that is Rhode Island based. And what we try to do is further progress in the state politically about big actions that matter to all of us, bodily autonomy, justice, anti-racism, all of these different ideas. And we do it through art-based action. So that's just a little bit about where we're coming from and what we're a part of. Tammy and I are also part of the Woman Project, like, the original.
The
But we
OG.
yeah, we sit in both places. So tonight we're coming to you from the Women Project Education Fund because we're talking about our RI for All series. Ah, it
Yes,
is
our
a
RI for All series is a series of videos that we created to talk about how to get civically engaged in Rhode Island, how to learn more about the legislative process, how to use your voice to affect real change right here in Rhode Island. And so it's a series of 6 videos that each talk about a different topic related to that and how you can get involved and why you should get involved.
they're little baby videos. They live on YouTube, but they also live on our website that we created for this project. So riforall.org. And I will do a quick screen share so that way the folks can find it. Oh my gosh, I go to it so often, it's like immediately.
It's there. Yeah.
Yeah, the browser was like, oh, of course, you mean this. Screen share.
And the great thing about the RI for All website is that all of the RI for All videos live there. And it's also a cool place to find resources for each video and links to our social media, additional content that we're producing for the videos. We kind of hope it's like a one-stop shop for like the beginnings of how to get civically engaged in Rhode Island. So riforall.org is the website.
riforall.org. And part of this project was sponsored by the Rhode Island Council for the Humanities. And this is a project that is a nonpartisan initiative. So it is really about tools that anyone in the state can use to push progress and become more civically active in any direction, whatever your thoughts are. So we welcome everybody to check out that website. We're trying to update the links on a regular basis so that way you'll be able to use that as, like Tammy said, your one-stop shop, your toolbox with all the tools, and you can revisit it as we continue to update it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we doing here tonight, Tammy?
What are we doing here tonight? So tonight is night 2 of Civics Camp. um, we had a premiere of all the videos just like a week ago, a little over a week ago or such, and now we're kind of doing a little bit of a deep dive into each individual video because they each kind of represent a different topic in terms of how to become engaged in local political action. And so we're kind of re-releasing each video one by one so we can do a little dive into what they're about and a little bit behind the scenes stories and then action to go along with it so that you can try out your skills right away.
Yeah, exactly. It's
It's
also
Civics Camp.
Civics Camp. It's also like kind of selfishly so that way Tammy and I can nerd out about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know how camp is really cool for the campers, but like if you've ever been a camp counselor, it's also really cool. I'm really excited for Civics Camp because it's me and you doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is fun.
Oh, for sure. All right, so should we launch into streaming video number 2 of the 6 video series?
Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to show the video and then we'll talk about some behind the scenes stuff and do a little bit of more of a dive into what the video is about. Sounds great.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little sharing of my screen. I'm going to go on mute and we're going to disappear and we're going to hit play.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what?
I'm just upset about politics.
Gotcha. Let's drink to that.
I just wish that there was a way that people could understand how much voting matters.
Well,
I mean, I get it, right? Like when I was a kid, no one took the time in school to explain it to me, and being an adult is busy and hard, and so it's really difficult to find the time to figure it out on your own.
I hear that.
I just wish that there was a concise, easy, simplified way to understand the difference that you can make by voting.
Like a visual metaphor.
Yes! You know I love a visual metaphor.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I don't think so.
Do you trust me enough for a fade out?
Always.
All right, let's do it.
Wiggly, 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 wiggly.
So, let's say these jars represent the 3 levels of government: local government, state government, and federal government. Your vote is 1 drop in each of these, but 1 drop really matters because the whole ocean is made of drops. So, here's your vote. And you'll be able to vote in each of these only once, but because there's less people voting in a local election, each vote, or drop of water, matters proportionally more to affect the outcome of the election. So, we just learned how voting in local elections is so important to creating real change. The elections happen every 2 years, so you really want to get informed about your local, state, and government elections. So, Emily's going to empty some more jars, and we're going to teach you the next lesson, which is about the primaries. So, go watch the next video.
It's gonna be great.
So that was Small State, Big Votes. That was our second video in the series. And yeah, it's, it's fun to watch. I was just about to message you like behind and be like, I forgot about the wrap up part. I forgot that part was not on it.
I know. We filmed so many scenes, and we also filmed like so many scenes that didn't make it, and we
Mhm.
wrote so many scripts that didn't make it. It like kind of feels like a blur. But it's, I don't know. It's really,
Yeah.
you know what came to mind for this one? For this one, I immediately thought about how, like, you and I had never really produced a video with editors and like videographers and all of that. So it was a lot of learning on the fly for us. And for me, I really learned like how many things stay in my head until I say them, right? Like, which is all of them until you say them. And we got our wonderful video editor Kia sent us the first cut of this, and it was just Tammy and I at the end of the like part in the park where we're just going wiggly, 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 and it just like cuts immediately to the jars. And in my brain, I was like, obviously, people would know that like that means that it's that classic like, dream sequence where everything gets wiggly. And no one, that doesn't make sense. Like it was only a joke like in my brain, and
It made sense to me.
it did make sense to you, which is something to say just how many hours we worked together for this project. But it was just really funny to like watch us just like this. That's all that it was originally there.
Wiggly, saying wiggly, wiggly, wiggly.
And then like I had to like so embarrassed to send the email to Kia and be like, so I guess it wasn't clear from us just going wiggly wiggly that we wanted like a goofy like silly over the
A
top,
wiggle.
like, yeah, a wiggle, right? Instead it was just us like, I don't know, like just having a very physical moment in
Yeah.
yeah. So that was a moment that rewatching the video came up for me in terms of like a memory of putting it all together.
Yeah, and totally like I'm reminded, like I kind of said, I forgot about that end wrap up section, which I enjoyed as a part of it. But each part of those things, the park, the jars, the wrap up, that was all totally separately filmed in like completely different times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different months, like maybe different years.
Yeah, it could have been different like lifetimes. Who knows? I'm also laughing because I'm like chugging from a jar, like not even scripted, right? And like those wrap ups that we wrote, we had scripts for some of them, but we also just kind of like improv'd a lot of that in terms of like, well, this is kind of the straightforward, boring stuff, so we got to kind of like liven it up and put some things so there were so many cuts of like me chugging water that like just didn't get you. It was there's a lot of B-roll that like should be burned, honestly.
But yeah, and that's just the funny thing. We were all, I mean, mostly us, the two of us, but we were learning on the fly. And we learned a lot of different things, like about filming things outdoors and the benefits and the challenges of that.
The light was beautiful. The background noise, not so much. Like, again, thank you, Kia and Kelly, our sound person, that really like matched up all the bird noises and all of the like, traffic noises to the best of the ability. Yeah.
But we made it work.
We made it work with a lot of hands helping us along the way. So thank you to everybody behind the scenes on the video. Jeff, Kia, Kelly, like Nick.
Yeah,
anyway,
everybody.
Check out the website to see everybody's name and hire those folks to do some fantastic work for you.
Yeah.
But trip down memory lane aside, should we do some business tonight?
Let's do some business. So part of this civics camp is so that we can share a little bit behind the scenes, but also so we can kind of dive into like the purpose of the video, what we were talking about, what we were discussing, and why it matters, why we wanted to make a video about it at all. And I think this is the perfect timing, of course, just like we originally had planned. But it is election season again. And the theme of this is why it's important to vote in local elections. And we referenced watching the next video, and we hope you do that. You come back on Sunday and we'll do a deep dive into the next video, which is specifically about voting in the primaries. But this video is just about why voting in a local election matters. And it's really, it's really important.
Yeah. And it specifically, all of these videos are rooted in what's true of Rhode Island, right? So like the name of that video we just watched is Small State, Big Votes, because the size of our state is so unique. I mean, you ask anybody outside of Rhode Island and they're going to tell you either two things about Rhode Island. One, it's the smallest state, or two, it's an island, which by the way, it's not, right? Like, so out of the two facts the one that is correct that everyone knows is that we're known for our size, and like it's actually a strength. We we talked beforehand about like if this joke was appropriate or not, and I feel like, you know, coming from a realm of bodily autonomy and like body positivity, like yes, right, there's so many contexts, and I'm going to give like a big wink here, right, like there's so many contexts where like people are like, you know, size matters, size doesn't matter. First of all, tell you right now, size doesn't matter, right? And the old adage of like the motion in the ocean, right? I'm gonna put all that aside, right? That's all like everyone is valid, everyone have a great time consensually. But when it comes to branching into politics, right? Size absolutely matters. Bodies, size doesn't matter. It's all valid, it's wonderful. Politics, our size, our small size is an advantage. We are the ocean state, so it's the motion in the ocean state that really pulls us forward. How am I doing, right?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Doing great.
I'll talk about the actual issue now. I love that intro. We kind of planned out what we were going to say, and I was like, "Yep, Em's got this part," and that was great. It is. It's our small size does matter.
Yeah,
And
because of proportions.
yeah, because of proportion. And I think there's a lot of reasons why voting in a local election is important. And, you know, we can talk about that in relation to every different issue there is. But in Rhode Island, think of the proportions. In Rhode Island, anyway, we only have a little over 1 million people. Only a certain number of that are eligible voters. Only a certain number of that actually vote. Only a certain number of that vote in off-year elections. Only a certain number of those people vote in the primary in an off-year election. So when you think about that, your voice as an individual is proportionally so much louder than it would be if you were in a giant state, in a giant, like, well-known presidential election in November. Like, think about how much voice can carry if you in your 2022 in the primary election in September. And it's very true that we'll talk about the primaries another time, but like it is true that so many local elections really do come down to just a few votes, and that's not an exaggeration. Every year they're doing recounts, and it comes down to literally a handful of votes. And so your voice really does matter, and we tried to show that with the visual metaphor of the jars. Like if your vote, even if your vote is only one little drop of water, if it's in a small jar, then it really matters. It really influences everything. If it's in a giant jar, it still has an influence. It's still important. But think of how much more your voice matters, like in that small jar. And that jar is Rhode Island, and it's the state and local elections here, and it's the primary. So that's the point of that video.
Yeah, one drop in the ocean state.
Yeah.
I'm so disgusting about my puns. It's so bad.
I love them.
Yeah, thank you. You have to, or else the videos never would have gotten made. So we're talking about an action tonight, right? That's the logic behind it. Like, okay, are you picking up what we're putting down? Are you convinced? Do we have you? Great, right? Now, what do we do, right? You vote.
You vote.
You vote. You vote. You vote, and ideally you vote with your friends who you help vote, because this is, you know, not only is the ocean state small in size, but that helps us be small in community and intimate in community. You can find your people and you can talk to them, and you know, everybody knows, like, you know, cousin Joey and whatever, right? Like you get everybody on and help people figure this stuff out, because life is busy. So,
and we also know that, like, voting, you know, you can be a little bit glib about voting. And I know some people in some circles are kind of frustrated with the whole concept of voting. I hope that by this point in the series, you understand why specifically voting in local elections is very important. But it's also very true that there are systemic barriers that make it harder for certain people to vote than others. The fact that it's on a Tuesday, the fact that, you know, the polls are only open till 9 p.m. or whatever time it is, 8 or 9 p.m. You know, all of those things, you know, where the polling places are located in certain districts, all of those can be barriers. So that's why our action right now is for you to sit down and make a plan to vote.
Yeah.
Look at your calendar, look at where your polling place is. Do you have time on Tuesday the 13th to get to that place? And if not, what's your backup plan? There's a couple of options that you have, and so we just want you to sit down and make a plan so that you're ready come the time that you decide you want to go and cast your ballot.
Yes. So riforall.org is our website where you can find all of our videos and everything. This website here, vote.sos.ri.gov, bookmark it. Like this
Bookmark
is the toolkit that the Secretary of State built for us. Like we built our toolkit of all of our fun stuff. No offense, there's some fun here too. But right, this is where you can get down to the details and really get some responsive and like personalized information about how to actually take the action steps. So this is the homepage, right? We've got some little beautiful buttons up here at the top. You scroll down, this is going to update all the time about what elections are going to be true. You get to find out some important timeline information because some of the ways to vote, you need to sign up in advance in order to, request a mail-in ballot, right? You can vote early without doing that work. But if you want to mail in your vote or drop it in a Dropbox, you need to actually have asked for that in advance. And so that deadline has already passed for the primaries. But the mail-in application deadline for the general election that's going to be happening in November, right? That's October 18th. So do that now, right? Go to the website as you're coming up with the plan for the primaries. Get your stuff in a row, check the boxes and sign up for whatever you need for the general election too. Like it's hard enough to do this stuff. Do it all at once, batch it. Just batch it all together.
Yeah.
Anything else about these deadlines?
No, just keep an eye on it. And also I will say there's these deadlines if you want to request like a mail-in ballot or like if you wanted to be able to fill it out at home and drop it off in the Dropbox. But if you haven't done that yet for the primary, that's totally fine. You do still have a couple of options. And one of the options is to go and vote early in person at your Board of Canvassers, which is at the town hall usually.
Yeah, and you can find out where your Board of Canvassers is by viewing your voter record.
Yeah.
Right. So you click on that and you just type in your information easy breezy and hit continue. And it's going to give you personalized information for you specifically. And that information looks like this. Use my clunky screen share. Here we go. Oh, never mind. Here. We go. Sorry. The screen share looked exactly like the website because I took a screenshot.
Yep.
So I clicked the wrong one. Anyway, it's going to have your voter information here. This is going to specifically say your name, your address, your date of birth. It's going to give you your district information. So you get to find out what districts you are in, which may have changed because of the
Redistricting.
Districting. Thank you so much for finding that word for me. Scroll down. You can find out your particular upcoming elections and where your assigned polling places are. You can get reminded of your elected officials. So, you can figure out, oh yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that one, but that one I don't know about that one, right? Like whatever the case may be, review who you're with. And then also you've got the people to call. If you've got questions, if you've got issues, if you need to drop off your mail-in ballot, right? You can call these folks. These are nice folks that are going to answer the phone for you and help you out and get you information about your particular situation. It's so good. I've done it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done it. I've definitely done it.
And all of this website is available in Spanish with some translate buttons in the bottom and top on the right side.
Yeah, so I would encourage everybody, go on that website, check out all the information that you need, and then make your plan. If you know you can get to the polls on election day, then do that. Go before work, go on your lunch break, go, after work, what have you. If you have the day off, go and whenever you want. But go on election day, or if you don't want to and you're able to go during the week, the board of canvassers usually is open like 8 to 4, or 8:30 to 4:30, something like that, like during the week. So usually, but you can call them and see when they're open. And if you want to go in there and fill out a ballot early in person, you can totally do that too. So you don't have to just vote on election day, but make your plan now so you know which way you're going to vote. And that way, oh, I have to make time to go to the Board of Canvassers, or, oh, I have to make sure I put in my calendar to go to the polls on September 13th. Like, you just want to make sure you do that. Because, we all get so busy. It's easy to kind of let these things slip past, but if you make a plan now, you're so much more likely to be able to actually execute the plan and then make your voice heard in a very important election. So
Yeah, absolutely. And bonus points if you can do it with your community, with a
yeah,
friend, or in a way that publicizes and encourages other people to do this, because as we were saying earlier, it is a small state. We can make major progress if just a small number of people, which is a big proportion of our state, help each other do this. Become
absolutely.
more invested, become more familiar with the process, figure out the barriers for you. Think ahead. What are the barriers for your friends? Are they the same? Do you have someone that like maybe needs a little bit of transportation help?
Yeah,
Do you have someone that like, hasn't done it before? Do you have young kids that you can bring with you? And then usually the nice people give them a sticker even though they're too young to vote. And that's special, right? Like
yeah,
my diary had those in the front and I was like so excited.
yeah.
So yeah, involve your people or make it social, so that way this whole state, the whole thing, everybody together.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. That's key. And I think for folks, we kind of just said this, but I'm going to say it in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
For folks who are watching this video right now, you may think, oh, I'm set. I already did my homework. I'm an A student. I got my plan to vote. Or maybe I already voted early. I did it. Like, check plus for me on this assignment. And that's great. Yes. If you want the extra credit, you're going to want to get a friend. Like, make sure your friends um, are making a plan to vote too. Like, have a little conversation with your circle about if they're going to vote in the primary, and why you think it's important to do that. Because I think many of us who are kind of like actively already engaged in the process, we all have people that we're close to that maybe are not as much. And, so if you may post to social media about how you voted, and why you voted, why you think it's important, or whatever, share on Instagram your little I voted sticker, or, that you're making a plan to vote. And make it cool. Make folks get excited to vote with you. Vote with a buddy. If you know somebody else that lives in your district and you vote in the same polling place, like, make a plan to vote together. It all makes it more fun, and you're helping to spread the word, because we want everybody's voice to be heard in these elections. And honestly, not just the folks who already know how to shout loud like us. We want to make everybody know that they can shout just as loud as we can and make their voice heard too. So
Absolutely.
make a plan to vote with your friends.
The people in the back, right? Exactly. So if you're on social, I think just like a final thought is share those two websites. Selfishly, ours. I think it's really cool. Maybe not even selfishly. It's good resources. RI for the number all.org, right? But then also share the Secretary of State's website, vote.sos.ri.gov, right? Put that in your social medias, because that one, it's so plug and play. It just walks you through the process. Everything is laid out for you. Like, it is a good government website. I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there. Like, I will co-sign that. Like, that is a great website.
Yeah, it is a great website. So I think that's what we wanted to say. And also a little tiny preview of what's next. We're doing these twice a week for the next few weeks. So the next one is this coming Sunday, September 4th, I believe. Sunday is September 4th. Yep.
Okay. See,
And
we need a plan.
yeah, we'll be back here at 7 p.m. and we're going to show the next video in the series, which is about voting in the primaries.
Yeah.
And why specifically voting in the primary elections is important, particularly here in Rhode Island. So stay tuned for that. And also, like, if you have a friend who you think they're on the fence about if they're going to vote or not, share this with them. Tell them to watch us on Sunday night. Share the video. This is going to go up on YouTube as well. Share it with them so that they understand the importance of voting in the primaries too.
Absolutely. All right, so 7 p.m. next Sunday. Well, it's a 7 p.m. series, right? So next Sunday,
is.
next Thursday, then the following Sunday, then the following Thursday, and that's our last one. So
That's
camp
it.
is 2 weeks long. This is the end of week 1.
This is the end of week 1.
Final disclaimer, because the Humanities Council gave us this grant, I would love to give them their due and state this video was made with the generous support from local donors and the Rhode Island Council for the Humanities, an independent state affiliate of the National Endowment for the Humanities. Any views, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this video do not necessarily represent those of the National Endowment for the Humanities.
FYI.
End of disclaimer.
Just FYI. It
Just
represents me and M. It represents what we want to say.
All day. All day. All day. Triangle Space or Squarespace did not pay me to say any of this.
Yep. But thank you to the Council for the Humanities for giving us the funding to make this video series happen.
Yes. So thank them. I'm going to thank you, Tammy. I'm going to thank everybody at the Woman Project. I'm going to thank everybody part of the RI for All series. I'm going to thank everybody on the feed.
Well, thank you, Emily.
Oh, you're welcome.
Join us again on Sunday for more
More of
behind the
this.
scenes stories, more of this. You can just hang. It's like it's Civics Camp is also just hanging out with us for a little bit, which is fun. I think it's fun.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. So
All right. We'll meet again on Sunday. Good night,
we will
everyone.
definitely.
Take
We will
care.
meet
Have a
again.
wonderful weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend. Ooh, holiday weekend coming up.
Holiday weekend.
Holiday weekend.